In this video, we'll create a parallax scrolling effect with a fixed background image using HTML and CSS. So let's take a quick look at it here and then we'll go ahead and get started. As you can see, we have the wood floor image in the background and then we have a simple heading over the wood floor. So what I'm going to do is open up a blank index.html file and go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and lay out the basic foundation of our HTML page. You can just hit HTML and then select enter here in Sublime Text, which is the text editor that I'm using. And I'm just going to name this Parallax Scrolling with Fixed Background. Alright, so underneath the title, I'm going to go ahead and just add a style section because after we enter the HTML, we'll just do an internal style here rather than linking to a style.css file. So I also have the version that we're working on, index.html, open in my web browser. I'm using Google Chrome along with the finished version here that we're seeing on the left. So the first thing that we'll do is let's go ahead and just create a simple div class, and I'm going to call it margin, and then we can close the div. Then I'll drop down a space and create a section class, and I'll just call this parallax. And then nested within the section class parallax, we'll have a div class. So I'm going to go ahead and write div class parallax dash inner. And then inside of that, we'll have our heading 1, where we'll have the parallax text or whatever you want to write on the screen that sits over top of the wooden floor background. So now I'll just close out the div class, close out the section class, and drop down to add one more div class margin to create the white space that's on top and beneath the background image. Alright, so now if we refresh the version we're working on, we see our heading 1 parallax title there, and let's move up to our CSS. So I'm going to do a simple reset style with the asterisk here on the HTML document itself by saying margin 0, padding 0, and then we'll do border 0. This is to take away any inherent style that our web browser, Google Chrome, wants to push onto our document. So if we refresh, there we have the margin being taken away, or possibly padding with parallax pushing all the way up to the top left. So now let's style the margin class with dot margin, and we'll say margin 75% top bottom and then 0 left right. Okay, so now we can drop down. And if we refresh, that's going to create a bunch of space surrounding the parallax text. So 75% of the screen on the top, 75% of the screen on the bottom. So now we'll style the parallax class, and let's add that background image with the wooden floor. So background URL in parentheses and a quote, https:// www.macintuts.com /wp-content/uploads/floors.jpg or JPEG. Alright, and then after the parentheses but before the semicolon, we'll write repeat fixed 100%. Okay? So now we'll be able to see 100% of the image here, or it will take up 100% of the screen rather. So now we're only seeing a little bit of it with the parallax text there, but if we add more content or simple line breaks here in our HTML using the BR tag, we'll find that that space there will widen. So it will adjust to any content that we add. So rather than add content, I'm going to show you a trick here with the parallax inner class. So we'll reference that with .parallax inner, and we'll add padding on the top. So padding top 30%, and then padding bottom 30%. Okay, so now if we go back and refresh, we'll have 30% on top and 30% on bottom of our heading 1 parallax text there with the parallax inner spacing. Okay, so last but not least, let's go ahead and just style our heading 1. So I'll reference that with H1, and then we'll say text align center, and we'll give it a font size of 500%, color white or hashtag FFF for the hex value, and then we'll just give it some letter spacing here. So letter spacing 3 pixels. Alright, so that does it for all of our HTML and CSS. Here we have our finished version of the fixed background parallax scrolling effect with HTML and CSS. So I want to thank you for watching. Please remember to like this video and subscribe. Then I'll see you in the next tutorial.